Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Showman. On the program this evening, another day and another attack on citizens from the Northeast, this time in Gurgaon near Delhi. They are told, tell your Northeastern friends to go away. Now this comes after a group of Northeastern citizens were attacked in Bangalore. Why? Because they didn't speak Kannada. The blatant racist attacks by our citizens on our citizens reflects a sick mindset. Is it time for new laws to protect people from the northeast of India? Also coming up, it's a story that seems to have disappeared from our history. This is the centenary of the First World War, a war in which 74,000 Indians were killed fighting in some of the greatest battles around the world. That's right, 74,000 Indians. Tonight I bring you a very special report from Flanders Fields in Belgium, where Indian soldiers were some of the first victims of gas attacks in military history 100 years ago. We'll also be joined by a panel looking to spread the message on why it's important to remember the stories of these men. But first, another attack on the Delhi police today. This time, the Assistant Commissioner of Police of the Crime Branch was brutally assaulted with rods and stones in a road rage incident right in the heart of Delhi. This is the third attack on the police recently. Earlier, a policeman was killed in gunfire in Rohini, while another patrol was targeted by contract killers in Connaught Place. ACP Amit Singh was taken to the trauma center of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He is now at AIIMS and recovering. Joining us for more on this, just what happened, the Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic, Anil Shukla. Mr. Shukla, thank you very much for being with us. Firstly, what is the condition of the ACP?
Amit is improving. He has got some injuries on his face as well as on his head, but he is improving. He is out of danger and hopes he will be back on his duties quickly.
How exactly did this happen, sir?
As per the initial investigation, it has been found that a juvenile, without having a driving license, he is a student of a very reputed school in Delhi, was driving a vehicle, and he banged the vehicle on the rear side of the Innova car, the police car. But when he was stopped, told to stop, he came out, and he was followed by his mother and his guardian. And while the driver was trying to ask him the reasons why he could not apply brakes, there was a rage, and he started misbehaving, abusing. In the meantime, his family members joined, and then they assaulted the driver first, and when the ACP intervened, he was also assaulted with the helmet and fists, etc. So he got some hits on his head, and then they picked up some stones. By the time it was, things were brought to normalcy, he had got some critical hits on his nose as well as on his head.
Mr. Shukla, did they not know that they were attacking the police?
Well, I think in the initial stage, maybe he was not aware of the fact that he was attacking a policeman, because the vehicle was of the crime branch without police marking. Sometimes it happens with us. But by the time his guardians came and they were told about the fact that they have attacked the police, but that's not the point. The point is that this kind of incident cannot be and should not be condoned. People do suffer such attacks, abuses, some gesticulations on the road, especially even when there are some minor incidents of touching or people passing very close to each other. So this is something which is very serious, and Delhi police is taking very serious note of it. We have been trying our best to educate people, because this is something to do with the society and the attitude of people at large. So I think there is a serious action which should be contemplated against all those who are indulging in road rage
Mr.
violence.
Shukla, I think what is absolutely shocking here is that at some stage, they would have identified themselves as policemen. The fact is that they were attacked.
Exactly.
They were attacked despite being the police. If the police, and an ACP at that, is thrashed in an incident of road rage, where does that leave anybody else? And what does that show about how people respect the police in Delhi?
I don't think so. You should take it to the fact that people have lost respect. But this is a fact that these two youngsters were were into gym, and the guardian of this boy was also maybe we are trying to check his antecedents and his past history, which we find is not without a blot. But nonetheless, this is something which is very serious, and we have been sensitizing our force how to handle incidents of where people are in problem. But when policemen in problem, I think this is something which is a lesson to be learned, and we will deal with these kind of instances with the strictest.
But be honest with us. I know the police. I know the police is trying to crack down on road rage. But my question is this: in a city where there is so much anger on the roads, where there are thousands of vehicles added every day, where licensing is an absolute mess, where people even with licenses don't know how to drive, where there are incredible traffic jams, what can the police do to stop road rage? Can you accept the fact, sir, that this may not be something the police can deal with? This is a societal, cultural issue. You are a policeman. How can you tell people to behave themselves?
No, what I'm trying to explain is that this is a societal issue where people are on short fuses. As you just said, because of various factors, there are issues where tempers flare very quickly and people take law onto themselves. Now, if this is the case where when they take law into their hands, we need sometimes a specific law which is there in some countries. But nonetheless, whatever laws are provided with us at this point of time, we take necessary action. In fact, last a few months back, there was a traffic cop who was mowed down by a group of youngsters when he was trying to do his duty by stopping them to take a wrong turn. But I think this is a big malice which needs to be tackled at various levels, and police can only enforce law as it is provided to us.
Do you sometimes feel helpless, sir, as the man in charge of traffic in Delhi? Do you feel helpless when these things happen?
I won't say it is a feeling of helplessness, but yes, there is a feeling of inadequacy for sure. What is happening is that we have lacked the culture of courtesy. In fact, the parents and the schools are to be blamed at the first, and then when there is a culture which is pervasive that you can get away, this is something which is not at all desirable. You can try and enforce law with the might of with the force, but there is a limit to which each and every individual can be policed. So I think it's a collective responsibility for all of us to behave on the road, to show courtesy to not only your fellow motorists, but also to pedestrian and people who are trying to cross the roads. This is something surely is lacking, which needs to be inculcated.
Mr. Shukla, thank you so much for speaking to us, and hopefully the ACP will get better soon. Another instance of road rage in our national capital. It is a frightening reality. The police say they are trying very hard to fix that. Let's move on now to another story of outrage. It's a very, very sad story. Two young men from Nagaland, both in their 20s, were hospitalized this morning after being beaten for nearly 3 hours in the room that they were renting in a village in Gurgaon. Awang and Chester say that a group of at least 7 men burst into their room and assaulted them with bats and sticks. Chester was pinned down. His head was shaved by the gang. The incident happened in Sikandarpur, just a kilometer or so away from the large malls in Gurgaon. Well, joining us to debate this and the attack in Bangalore day before yesterday, Hemchandra Eringbam, the present Minister for Power and Civil Supplies in the Manipur government, Michael Lamjaphang Haokip, the Northeastern student who was a victim of attack day before yesterday in Bangalore, H.T. Sangliana, a citizen from the northeast of our country who rose to the rank of Police Commissioner of Bangalore, a top cop, Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson of the Congress. I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us. Michael, let me come to you first. Why were you attacked? What did your attackers tell you?
Yes. Yeah, I was attacked because of not speaking Kannada and not knowing Kannada.
What did they tell you?
While having fast food on the roadside, three men localites came over to our place in a table and asked and and order us to speak in Kannada since and stating that you are eating Karnataka food and you are living in this Karnataka, so you have to speak Kannada, and they are imposing us to speak. So since we ignore them, they take it as an insulting, so they attack us.
Naren Kohli, let me come to you. I know that Rajnath Singh has spoken to the Karnataka government. He wants action to be taken. But what do you believe this government needs to do in terms of something more radical? There is the Base Barua committee report that says that there need to be laws to protect citizens from the Northeast. It's a shocking state of play that we need specific laws to protect our own citizens, quite besides the laws that already exist. But this is the desperate state. Do you believe the BJP should perhaps encourage the government to do more to protect our citizens, perhaps by getting these new laws?
You know, Vishnu, my smile is not out of amusement, but instead actually out of pain. Because we have laws to protect women against rape, and women get raped. You've been talking of road rage. There's no less a thing about laws in terms of preventing that, but they happen too. This is becoming a serious problem. Intolerance is high in society. People are on a short fuse. You spoke of anger. And I think also these are intertwined. It's not one or the other. And when it happens with the Northeast students repeatedly, I think it's very, very unfortunate, because they are targeted in that sense, and it raises questions of even a racial mindset, which India, thankfully, for a very long time was free of. But now somewhere we need to start becoming concerned. Are we seeing strands of that too here? So essentially, I think it's a larger issue. Yes, the laws and whatever the government can do, will do. The government has been looking at the Northeast area, at least, you know, I'm not trying to take brownie points politically, but a department was created separately during Atalji's time. There is successive governments work towards that. But larger issue is a social one too. We need to get over this, and I personally can't offer any solution offhand.
Okay. Mr. Sangliana, why is Karnataka bad news when it comes to respect for citizens from the Northeast? Some time back, there was that entire SMS saga where people got these SMSs, people from the Northeast. They were so worried that in droves they fled from Karnataka. An absolute disgrace that citizens from our own country are too scared to live within India. When you were top cop, sir, did you see the birth or the evolution of this racist mindset in some quarters?
This is only a recent happening. It has not been happening for a long, long time. I have been in Karnataka for 46 years. During my period, I have not seen this kind of incidents. So I must tell you that this is a new trend which needs careful handling, and while handling this issue, it is also important to let the people know, people coming from outside, including the Northeastern people, that they have a duty to do in the form of learning the local language and making themselves friendly or be friendly, so that local people also will develop liking for them. So here, even the localites, the people of Karnataka have to understand that this is a thing, a new thing,
Mr. Sangliana,
they have to stop.
Did you just say that it is incumbent upon people from the Northeast to learn Kannada?
There is no such compulsion or force as such, but this must be the wish of every state government, that the people coming from outside should know the language of the state.
Sir, I am Bengali, sir. Tomorrow, if I am to visit Karnataka and I don't speak Kannada, does there any justification for an attack on me? Or will I be unwelcome in the state?
Not at all.
So therefore, sir, if there are people from the Northeast to go to Karnataka, why should it be incumbent upon them to learn Kannada if it is not required of them?
No. I think we should rather encourage all over the country that people from outside states, when they come to another state for settlement or for work, they should also try to learn the language of that state. What is wrong in that? And I don't see there is anything too serious a case here.
So, sir, the issue is not about not about learning a language to be able to communicate. It's being forced to learn a language, sir. Sir, it is
no, I must tell you that, hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
This incident 2 days ago had happened, according to me, because of the mischievous elements who wanted to create trouble. And you're not knowing Kannada, you should know Kannada. I think this is only a passing remark that they have made. They must be just rowdy elements who wanted trouble, and they made that trouble indeed. So let us not take it in such a manner.
No, but
that
sir,
we should feel
they
panicky or we
attack
should feel
using the most base, the most crude aspect of our society, this racism. Nalin was being very polite. He's saying that there are aspects of racism perhaps which are creeping in. Sir, we are one of the most racist countries on earth, sir. Let's face it.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you these days.
Yes, yes.
People from different regions, the way we
Yes,
speak
yes,
about each
because,
other is disparaging. Michael has a point. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, because in my college, more than 70 of the person are localites, okay, and they don't even know Kannada. But if it is the case, in my case, are the people or the three miscreants going to ask to let them speak in Kannada? It's not that. So it's mainly because I believe it's because of my difference in face structure or color, I should say.
Has this happened before to you, Michael, or your friends?
It's not, this is my first time, but being a leader, I have faced lots of my members facing this type of cases, even in myself, in local shops or in autos or in other malls. I have faced a little small racism, I should say, which I can feel.
Okay, Hemochandra is saying, as a minister in the Manipur government, this is something that keeps on happening over and over again. Does anybody really care or listen to the voices of the Northeast to make things change?
Both, I'd say yes and no. Well, I was just listening to Mr. Sangliana. Sangliana is a very respected. I mean, he was a very respected police officer from the region, and have a lot of respect in the community for him. But there's a little variance where I would like to point out the fact that he was talking about racism. I mean, I don't exactly know. I mean, the coinage of this word itself is very dangerous. I mean, we have to use this term very carefully. But I feel that these elements were always there. These elements were always there. And at the personal level, I can vouch for it because I grew up in Delhi. I grew up as a kid in Delhi. I was raised in Delhi. So these things have been always there to a certain extent. But maybe it did not come into the public domain. It was not. It did not manifest in a way it is manifesting in the current times, or maybe even the media coverage is not there. And to a certain extent, what I feel is that it is a very, you can say, it's a very disturbing trend which is happening.
Yes.
I'll tell you, 29th of January, Vishnu, if you remember.
Yes.
29th of January 2014 was a boiling point.
Yes.
In Delhi.
Yes.
Nido Tania was killed in Lajpat Nagar. And, you know, you could see that civil society erupted, you know.